There are moments, aren't there, when you step into a space or simply meet another's gaze, and the air itself seems to shift. It thickens, becomes charged, palpable. It isn't merely a change in temperature or light. No, it is something far deeper, an invisible current, vibrating, humming, between souls. It resonates within you, a sympathetic chord struck deep within your own being. You feel it, don't you? That subtle hum beneath the surface of conversation, that unspoken language that passes between two people, a man and a woman, when something profound, something ancient, begins to stir. This is not merely attraction, a fleeting spark of interest that catches the eye for a moment and then fades like a match struck in the wind. This is the call of primal power. It is a force, ancient and profound, a river of life that flows from the very source of creation, that predates our words, our customs, our societal constructs, our very understanding of what it means to be alive, to connect, to truly merge. It is the echo of the void and the whisper of the stars. Between a man and a woman flows not just passion, but life itself. It is a shared breath, a mutual pulse, a blossoming of existence that transcends the individual. It is an energy that can be felt, almost seen, a luminescence that shimmers in the periphery of your awareness, a warmth that radiates from the core. It is a crackling, bright, and yes, sometimes dangerously potent current. Dangerous, not in a way that suggests harm or malice, not a threat to your physical being, but dangerous to our carefully constructed illusions, to our complacency, to our smallness, to the walls we have painstakingly built around our hearts, around our true, wild, untamed selves. This energy, this raw, unbridled life force, demands everything. It demands presence, it demands truth, it demands authenticity. It asks us to shed our masks, to strip away the layers of conditioning, to be utterly, vibrantly, unashamedly alive. It challenges us to step beyond the mundane, beyond the ordinary expectations, to embrace the extraordinary within ourselves and in our connections, to dance on the edge of the known and the unknown. This energy, when it truly awakens, is breathtaking. It stops you in a quiet moment, perhaps a fleeting glance across a crowded room, or a shared silence in the fading light of day, a hand brushing yours inadvertently, and it steals your breath away. It is a gasp of recognition, a sudden intake of life itself, a jolt to the system that reminds you of your own capacity for wonder. And it is also a little frightening, for when such power awakens within us, when this primordial current is unleashed, what then? What will it ask of us? What transformations, what upheavals, what profound shifts will it demand within our lives, within our relationships, within our very beings? It is the first touch of a mystery, a truth that lies coiled, dormant, yet infinitely potent within each of us, within every human heart, waiting for the right moment, the right resonance, the perfect alignment of intention and openness to unfold its grand design, to reveal its profound purpose. Think of it as a silent symphony played on the unseen strings of existence, a melody so ancient, so deeply embedded in our cellular memory, in the very helix of our DNA, that we recognize it instinctively, a familiar tune from a forgotten past. When a woman breathes deeply, truly deeply, into her being, into her sacred center, life breathes with her. Her entire essence expands, radiating a subtle yet undeniable power, a luminous grace. And when a man truly sees her, and yet this raw, vibrant current, this energy that crackles bright and dangerous, this is the call of primal power. Where does it go? We feel its initial surge, its undeniable power, drawing us in, weaving us together. But then, for so many of us, it seems to dissipate. It quiets. Or worse, it twists, becoming a source of confusion, even pain. Why does this powerful primal force, so essential to our being, so often weaken or become obscured over time? Look within. Feel the echoes of what once was. Was it a whisper of guilt, perhaps, that first dulled its shine? A subtle voice from childhood, from society, suggesting that this inherent magnetic pull was somehow wrong, unclean? Shame, you see, is a heavy cloak. It wraps around the heart, around the very seat of our creative, sensual fire, and suffocates it. It teaches us to hide, to diminish, to apologize for the very essence of who we are. When we internalize these judgments, we begin to mistrust our own deepest stirrings. We learn to suppress. We learn to believe that our natural attraction, the profound pull between two souls, is something to be tamed, perhaps even feared. Attraction is not sin. It's the universe remembering itself. And fear, my friends, is a powerful inhibitor. Perhaps it's a fear of our own power. This energy, this life force, it is potent. It can be overwhelming. It changes things. It dissolves boundaries. And in a world that often prizes control and predictability, the untamed, transformative nature of this energy can feel threatening. We are taught, sometimes subtly, sometimes overtly, to keep ourselves small, to not fully embody our magnificent, sensual selves. We worry about what might happen if we truly let this energy flow, what it might ask of us, what it might demand we become. We often mistakenly take its suppression for maturity, believing that to be a responsible adult means to deny the vibrant, pulsing core of our being. But true maturity, I believe, is about understanding, integrating, and consciously directing this power, not burying it alive. A man doesn't lose power when he ages. He loses it when he stops looking with wonder. Sometimes the blockage comes from older wounds, unresolved hurts, unspoken resentments, betrayals from the past. They don't simply vanish. They accumulate. They build up like sediment in a river, slowing the flow, eventually diverting the course entirely. We carry these scars, often unconsciously, into new connections, into our most intimate spaces. And these echoes of pain can make us guarded, fearful of opening fully, fearful of the very vulnerability that allows this life energy to truly flow. How can passion ignite when the heart is still bracing for impact? How can the sacred current move freely when the spirit is still clenching against old hurts? And then there are the everyday rhythms of life, the routine, the mundane, the ceaseless demands of work, family, responsibility. These are not inherently bad, of course. They are the structures of our lives. But without conscious attention, without a reverence for the sacred in the everyday, they can slowly, subtly erode the spark. The magic fades not with a bang, but with a quiet sigh. The energy that once crackled, bright, and dangerous becomes predictable, domesticated. We forget to look with wonder. We stop seeing the divine in the ordinary touch, the shared glance, the intimate breath. We begin to treat this profound exchange as another item on a to-do list, rather than a sacred communion. When a woman breathes deeply, life breathes with her. Between a man and a woman flows not just passion, but life itself. When energy is blocked, understand this deeply, we don't lose sex. Not merely, we lose vitality. We lose the animating force that permeates every aspect of our lives. Creativity wanes. Joy dims. Our sense of purpose can feel adrift. The world can seem duller, less vibrant, because the inner lamp, the source of our own radiant light, has been turned down. This isn't just about what happens in the bedroom. This is about what happens in the soul. The river of life within us, when dammed, begins to stagnate. The danger, you see, is not in the energy itself. This energy is pure. It is life. It is the universe remembering itself through us. Desire is the language through which the soul speaks. Desire is not the body calling, it is the soul singing. The danger lies in our fear of it, in our ignorance of its true nature, in the stories we tell ourselves about it. It lies in believing that it must be controlled, suppressed, or confined, rather than understood, honored, and allowed to transform us. We mistake its misdirection for control, channeling its vastness into anger, anxiety, or even a restless, unfulfilled longing, instead of allowing it to elevate our entire being. This powerful current, this deep, sensual pulse, yearns to be recognized. It calls out for your awareness, for your gentle hand to guide it, not to cage it. It is not a force to be conquered, but a wild, beautiful river to be navigated with respect and wonder. Its purpose is not to diminish you, but to expand you, to connect you more deeply to yourself, to others, and to the very pulse of creation. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. We speak of energy, that vibrant, undeniable current. You felt it, haven't you? That subtle hum, that quiet crackle between two people, or even within yourself, in those moments when life feels most vivid, most alive, most utterly present. Often, our modern world, with its relentless pace and its focus on the tangible, the measurable, has led us to a rather limited understanding of this profound force. We confine it, perhaps, to We've spoken of this current, this vibrant, potent energy that crackles between souls within us. But what happens when that circuit feels broken? When the spark seems to dim, or the connection is lost in the noise of daily life? How do we find our way back to that wellspring of power, that source of profound aliveness? It's not about seeking new techniques, you see, not about a forgotten manual or a complex formula. It is instead a return, a gentle turning inward, a cultivation of conscious presence. It is an act of deep mindfulness, a simple, profound allowance, permission to simply be, to feel, deeply listen, not with your ears, but with the very pores of your skin, with the quiet wisdom of your bones. Listen to your body. It speaks in whispers before it shouts in pain. It speaks in the subtle shifts of sensation, the quiet hum beneath the surface. These are not just physical responses. They are the language of your deeper self, yearning to be heard, to be honored. And breathe. Observe the breath. It is the most primal rhythm, the very pulse of existence flowing through you. Watch how it expands, how it contracts. For when a woman breathes deeply, truly deeply, life breathes with her. She isn't just inhaling air, she is drawing in the vitality of the universe, awakening the sacred fire within. Her breath becomes a prayer, a potent declaration of her presence. Breathe, and let life breathe with you. And a man? He doesn't lose power as the years unfold. He loses it, perhaps, when he stops looking at the world, at his partner, at himself with wonder. When the childlike curiosity, the awe, the reverence for the mystery of life begins to fade. True strength isn't about control. It is about connection, about daring to remain open, vulnerable, and astonished. To rekindle this sacred current, we must create space. Space for intimacy, yes, but first, intimacy with ourselves. A quiet space, free from the clamor of expectations, from the pressure to perform or achieve. just a spaciousness to feel, to allow whatever arises to simply be, without judgment, without analysis. Only then can true closeness with another begin to bloom, unforced, unburdened. This journey asks us to release, to let go of the fear that has perhaps held us captive, the judgments we've absorbed about our own desires, our own bodies, our own worthiness of pleasure. These are the chains that bind the vital energy, transforming its potential into stagnation. Remember the wonder. Remember the curiosity you once held for the world, for your own unfolding. Bring that same tender, innocent gaze to your sensual self. This dangerous energy we speak of, it is only dangerous when misunderstood, when stifled, when denied its natural flow. When embraced, when allowed to move with consciousness and intention, it transforms. It becomes not a wild, untamed beast, but a potent, manageable, creative force. A spring of inspiration, a wellspring of healing, a river of life, moving through you and through the world. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. We've spoken of the current that sparks between us, haven't we? Of how it can feel raw, untamed, perhaps even a little dangerous in its primal intensity. That sensation, that electric hum, often misunderstood, is but a whisper of your deepest truth. It is the language of life itself, stirring within you. For too long we have been taught to shy away from this raw power, to perceive its vibrant surge as something to control, to suppress, or even to fear. We've been led to believe that its intensity could overwhelm us, lead us astray. But what if that crackling force, that bright, undeniable spark, was simply untamed beauty? What if its perceived danger was merely the profound power of life, asking to be understood, to be honored, to be channeled? Consider for a moment the river. When it rushes unbridled over rocks and through narrows, its power can be daunting. It carves canyons, reshapes landscapes. We might perceive it as wild, even destructive. Yet, it is also the source of all fertility, the bringer of sustenance, the mirror of the sky. Its power is not inherently dangerous. It is simply power, untapped, unrecognized. A magnificent, potent flow, waiting to find its banks, to nourish the land, to serve life itself. The energy within you, the one that sometimes crackles, bright and undeniable, is much the same. It is not a force to be feared, but a magnificent, potent flow. A current of creation that has perhaps been dammed, or diverted, or simply forgotten, beneath the surface of daily life. This crackling strength is not meant to harm, it is meant to ignite, to awaken, to remind you of your own depth, your own capacity for profound connection and boundless creativity. Why does passion seem to fade, you ask? How can intimacy return? It's rarely about a loss of ability or a fading of the flame itself. It is often a quiet forgetting of its presence, a disconnection from the subtle currents that feed it. When energy is blocked, we don't lose sex, we lose vitality. We lose the vibrant hum that makes life feel rich and meaningful. We lose our connection to the deeper rhythms that sustain us. The zest for living, the spark of inspiration, the simple joy of being present in our bodies. These too diminish when this primal current is denied. This energy, this sacred life force, is your birthright. It is not something you acquire, but something you already possess. Deep within your core, it resides, a silent, steady pulse. It is the very essence that allows you to feel, to create, to connect. It flows through every cell, every thought, every beat of your heart, a constant, unwavering presence. It has never left you. It simply awaits your attention, your conscious recognition. Think of it not as a demand, but as an offering, a gentle invitation from your own depths, to simply be with this energy, to acknowledge its presence, without judgment, without expectation, to let it breathe, to let it move, to allow it to rise within you, not as a raging storm, but as a steady, nourishing warmth that suffuses your entire being. Between a man and a woman flows not just passion, but life itself. A shared current, yes, but also two distinct rivers, each with its own unique song, its own rhythm. When these rivers meet, when they are allowed to flow freely, authentically, the confluence is not merely physical. It is a merging of spirits, a communion that echoes through the soul, creating something new and sacred that transcends both individuals. It is the dance of existence, mirrored in human form. Desire, you see, is not just the body calling for release. It is the language through which the soul speaks. It whispers of connection, of belonging, of the yearning for wholeness. It is the universe remembering itself in two forms, seeking to understand its own magnificent design. Attraction is not sin. It's the universe remembering itself. A sacred pull, a natural unfolding, a profound recognition of shared essence. It is the soul's deepest longing for union, for expression, for the divine dance of creation. Perhaps you've felt it, that profound quiet that settles when true connection happens. Not the clamor of lust, but the deep resonance of two beings recognizing their shared spark. In that space, healing occurs. Old wounds soften, understanding blossoms, creativity awakens. The world takes on new colors, new textures, new depths. It is a testament to the transformative power of this energy when it is honored and allowed to flow freely. When a woman breathes deeply, life breathes with her. Her awareness of her own sensual current is not just for pleasure, it is for power. Her intuition sharpens. Her presence deepens. She becomes a vessel for creation in every sense of the word. She connects to the ancient wisdom of the earth, to the cycles of renewal, to the boundless wellspring of her own inner resources. Her body, her heart, her spirit all become harmonized with the rhythm of life. A man doesn't lose power when he ages. He loses it when he stops looking with wonder, when he ceases to feel the primal pulse of life within him, when he disconnects from the creative force that drives mountains and builds worlds. His strength is not in dominance, but in his capacity to hold, to cherish, to protect, and to channel this profound energy with conscious intention. When he reconnects, his vision clarifies, his purpose deepens, and his capacity for loving presence expands exponentially. He becomes a steady anchor, a source of unwavering strength. This quiet flame within is your true nature. It is not aggressive, not demanding. It simply is. It waits for your gentle touch, your open heart, your patient breath. It waits for you to remember that the crackling force you once perceived as dangerous is, in fact, the vibrant, living current of your very being. It is the very current that makes you alive. It is the source of inspiration that guides your hands, the wisdom that informs your decisions, the compassion that opens your heart. It is the wellspring of your unique creativity, the silent partner in your dreams, the unwavering light in your darkest hours. This energy is a sacred trust, a divine gift, constantly replenishing, constantly renewing. To reconnect with it requires no grand ritual, no strenuous effort. It simply asks for your presence, a moment of quiet attention, a gentle breath drawn deep into your being, feeling the subtle stirrings within. It asks you to feel, truly feel, the living warmth that resides in your core, to trace the soft, vibrant pathways it creates within your body, a network of life. It asks for quiet contemplation, for an internal listening, for a deep, abiding respect for the miracle of your own existence. This journey we've shared, it is not about finding something new. It is about rediscovering what has always been there, patiently waiting. It is about peeling back the layers of fear, of conditioning, of forgetting, to reveal the shimmering truth beneath. The truth of your inherent wholeness, your boundless power, your unbreakable connection to the source of all life. You are whole. You are powerful. This energy is not external. It is woven into the very fabric of who you are. Embrace it. Honor it. Let it flow. Trust in its wisdom. Allow it to guide you home, to the deepest, most authentic part of yourself. Love. Feel. Breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken.